Hey everybody, Nick here, and I got a review for you today of your Casio ATC-1200. But really, this isn't a review. Really, this is a history. I want you to get a little bit inside the brain of the Nick here. And so, yeah, a little bit of history, and I think this watch captures it nicely. I've always been a gearhead. I always loved tools, and not like your screwdrivers and your staple guns, but your gadgets. Your little everyday carry sorts of tools. Your Leathermans, your multi-tools, your Swiss Army knives, your SOG tool. Any of that stuff. Freaking loved it. Absolutely loved it. And so I was the kid who would go to Brookstone, a Shopper Image, and look at the absurd things they sell. Like, oh, hey, it's a combination laser level, laser pointer, ultrasonic distance finder, and shoe polisher. And I'd be like, wow, that's the coolest thing ever. And so I was the kid who had a key organizer way before he had any keys to organize. I had Maglite little flashlights before they were any good at all. Little multi-tools, your Swiss Champ, your Victorinox, along with your Cub Scout knife, little things like that. So this is not a recent phenomenon, that I'm a little bit of a gearhead. That's always been true. And so around 13, a family friend stopped by at some occasion or another and had one of these guys on. And it was incredible to me. Sorry, what a long day. And I was just blown away, and I wanted it so bad, because imagine how incredible it would be to have not just the time on your wrist, because I had a little crappy Iron Man, Timex $15 sort of watch, but, you had the time, you had the temperature, you had the altitude, barometric pressure, the compass. Wow, that's incredible. And so I fell in love, and I begged, and I begged, and I begged, and I had no need for a compass or an altimeter or a thermometer or a barometer. Hell, I didn't even need a watch. I was in middle school. I'm going to the next class when the friggin' bell rings. But damn it, I wanted to know what time it was. And so this was just a thing. And I managed to break my parents down, and they picked me up one of these guys. And I was thrilled. And I wore it until I killed it, until the little silver compass bezel fell off, and the band, I think I went through like 4 bands, and it was just in rough shape, because I was a middle schooler wearing this watch and just wrecked it. Maybe a spoiled little bastard, but who knows. I loved it. And so recently I found one of these guys on eBay for like $10, and by God, I jumped on it. And here it is. So I'm going to do, for old time's sake, a quick little review. The good on this is that, holy shit, this thing was amazing to me at the time. Because it does everything. It's got your altimeter here. It's 860 feet. It's got your altimeter alarm, so if you go over 10,000 feet, it'll tell me. I don't think that's going to happen anywhere near here, but, hey, just in case. You've got an alarm, you've got a stopwatch, and you've got your temperature and your barometric pressure. And you can even see, if you look at the little dots there, that a high-pressure front has come in today, and that explains all the wind this morning. Just saying. And keep in mind, I'm the jackass in middle school explaining to my friends, hey, this is why it's windy, look at this. Yeah, there's a reason I got bullied. But anyways, that's okay. I'm a nerd. I live with this. But anyways, that was beautiful. It's quartz, so it's plenty accurate. That's a good thing. The compass, it's got a compass, by the way, is pretty accurate too. It's not perfect, and you'll get slightly different readings if you're around metal and not. But, this direction is roughly east, and again, I didn't need a compass. I still barely do. And it was waterproof, so I could wear it all the damn time, and I didn't kill it until 5-6 years later, something like that. Maybe less than that. But either way. And it had its bad, but I didn't care. It was huge. It is huge on me now. I showed this to my fiance, and she just looked at me and said, oh, no, Nick, come on, no. And it's okay. I relented. But, it's huge and it's ugly, but I didn't care. And it was even huger and uglier on baby Nick. I mean, come on. And of course, the parts of it broke off and got beat up. You can already see on this eBay model, this text is all worn off here. It's complicated as heck to set up. At the time, I, read the manual cover front to back. But even now, trying to set it up and change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius was a pain in my neck. Overly complicated. And the Perpetual Calendar in this that tells you what day it is. Oh, come on here. There we go. Is going to expire in 2020, so at that point it will no longer know what day it is, and that'll be entertaining. But, whatever. And then, of course, there was some pretty ugly, too. A lot of quartz watches have a kind of light up, the whole dial lights up when you hit the light button. Not on this guy. Watch this. I'm going to hit the light button over here. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a little LED in there that shines just enough light that sometimes, if your eyes are adjusted, you can read this line. That's it. If you need to know the day of the week or the altitude, you're hosed. But it'll give you enough to see the time. Ugly as hell. Terrible, terrible. But by God, at the time, oh my God, I can tell the time at midnight without turning the lights on? Oh, wow, that's incredible. And of course, it wasn't perfect. The temperature display is way off if you've got it on your wrist. It's always going to say it's like 88 or something like that when it's on your wrist. Right now, it's saying it's 79 when it's actually 74 in here, but whatever. And the altimeter was not quite right either, plus or minus 800 feet or so. But hey, I didn't care, because I spent my entire life at one altitude. But damn it, I knew if I went up 20 feet, I thought. And so, good, bad, ugly aside, I loved this thing. And I loved it, and I loved it until I killed it. And at that point, I managed to, I don't know whether I saved up or I cajoled my parents, who were always nice about that kind of thing, to, move on to this guy here. This is the Casio PAL-20, which doesn't have the compass, but still has your altimeter and thermometer, and it has a light that actually is worth a damn. But I used this guy until I killed it. I think this guy made it to college for me, to give you an idea, and through a good portion of college. This died, I think, 3 years ago. Finally just gave up the ghost. No battery change would help. But I loved this guy too, and it was another gadget kind of thing. I went through, because, millennial, I went through the whole, oh, I don't need a watch, I got my phone thing. And then I started wearing a watch again. I went to the Pebble smartwatch, because, oh my God, it's a computer on your wrist. And then the Apple Watch, oh my God, it's a computer on your wrist. Neither of them were very good computers, so I didn't stick there. But nonetheless, I did that, and then I went back to simpler watches, like a Citizen. There's a Casio Oceanus that I've got a great review of. And now my most recent is actually my fanciest watch ever, which is a mechanical watch, SIN 104 STSAI. And I got a review pending on this guy, but I really want to give this time, pun fully intended, before I, give my final verdict on it. But anyways, this just goes to say, and I hope you all understand it in the spirit that it is, that I have always been loving this stuff. There's a reason that I'm a gear geek and that I'm some random jackass spending time on a Friday afternoon, evening, doing reviews of random gear. I love it, and honestly, this channel is a great excuse for me to continue thinking about and talking about this stuff. I love the experience I'm having of talking to you guys left and right about, knives and gear and all kinds of other things. That brings me joy. And so the fact that 715 people at last count are actually signed up to hear more about that is kind of a beautiful thing. And so I appreciate very much those of you who talk gear on my channel, and I hope you understand that I'm just a gearhead. This is what I've been doing for a long time, and even if I don't need some of this gear, am I ever going to fully use your ZTO 452 or 562 CF? There's not a chance in hell. In the same way that I was never going to use the compass to its full explorer kind of thing, it's still a wonderful thing to have, and that's still my mindset, and it sounds like it's the same thing a lot of you guys feel. So that's me. That's a little bit of history of my timepieces. That's a review of a gem. I'm going to call this a gem. You can't buy it anymore. It's long discontinued and compared to modern stuff. But for me, this was one of the very first gems in my life. And so, yeah. Anyways, I'm ranting now. I hope this was at least mildly interesting to you. If you ever find yourself in a position where you can buy an ATC-1200 because it was deeply nostalgic to you in middle school, then by all means, pick one of these guys up. It's a gem. Otherwise, you probably want something a little bit more modern. Just saying. I hope this has been, well, probably not helpful, but at least interesting for you. And have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day.